What's up everyone, it's Scotty with MoneyVest. So this is going to be your step-by-step guide on your financial planning and mapping out your future when it comes to finances. So 2024 is upon us and I want to really help you figure out and make it very clear on the steps you need to take to plan out your finances going into next year. I've got my notepad over here. I'm going to go over step by step. It's a very simple 2 to 3 step process that we're going to work together. And it doesn't matter if you're 20 years old, 30, 40, 60 years old watching this video. This is all actionable tips that you can utilize today. Sit down with your family, sit down by yourself, but map out and write down these things so that you are on the same page and of course are going to be bulletproof and ready with your financial plan in 2024 and beyond. So hope you all enjoy this video, find it helpful. If you do, make sure that you drop a like. All I'm asking in return is of course you subscribe to the channel. Link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. There is a 16% annual discount that's available until the end of this month, which is literally today. So today is the last day if you want to take advantage of that annual discount. You get access to all the members only videos. That's all 40 plus videos that you can watch, access to all the spreadsheets, and of course Discord channels that has all my buy and sell alerts, options alerts, trade ideas, everything else. So when it comes to understanding your financial plan, okay, it all starts from the end. It all starts from the end goal that you have in mind. So in the book Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, there's a chapter called Never Enough. It's a very, very important chapter and I highly recommend everybody reading that book. But as humans, we are wired to constantly wanting more. So we are in the pursuit of wanting more. And it's kind of interesting because there's another quote which read, as humans, we want more options. But the moment we are given those options, we are miserable. And that's true because if you think about it, everybody wants more money, everybody wants more options, everybody wants more success, everybody wants more promotions, everybody wants more opportunities, and we're always wanting more. And having an idea of being content with how much it is that you have and where are you looking to go, where are you trying to go, is so very important, kind of like the starting point of mapping out your financial life. Because if you don't know where you're going, you're kind of just drifting in space. So every time, when we're doing a lot of these financial planning and we're kind of understanding for everyone, what is it that they're looking to achieve in their financial life, the first question that I need to ask you is that where are you trying to go? In other words, what's your number? What is that one number that once you achieve that, you can kind of pull back, you can relax a little bit, and you are going to be very, very content with how much you have. Very important in financial planning is having an understanding of your objective or of your end goal. So the first step is actually starting with the end goal in mind. So what I need you to do is write down your current age, right? So depending on how old you are, just write it down. Write down what your retirement age looks like. When do you plan on retiring? And the third number is going to be your life expectancy. Okay, whether you expect to live until 80, 85, 90, 95, of course, the higher the better because you definitely want to outlive your money. You want your money to outlive you and not the other way around, right? So in financial planning, we always want the money and the capital that you have to outlive you and not the other way around. You don't want to be alive when there's no money left. So you definitely go with a higher life expectancy. But those three numbers, your current age, your retirement age, and your life expectancy, will really break it down into smaller pieces. So let's just say that you're 30 years old watching this video. Let's say that your retirement age is 65, and let's say that you plan to live, or at least not plan, but you were hoping to live until 95. So of course you've got 60 years left, right? 65 years left on this earth, right? So we've got to do this all with financial planning. And retirement is 65, so you've got 30 years of 30 years where you're not going to be working. Right? Where you're not going to be working and you're simply going to be dependent on your retirement, right? Retirement accounts, your money that you've saved up and invested over the years, that's where you're going to be dependent on. So now that you have these three numbers, the next step is going to be deciding or basically figuring out how much it is that you need, after retirement, okay? Those 30 years from 65 to 95. So from your retirement till your life expectancy, those 30 years, how much do you actually need in order to very, very comfortably live with your family, with your kids, whatever it is that you want to do, just map it out, right? And this is where budgeting comes into place. This is where you kind of pull out a spreadsheet and you figure out all your expenses, vacations, housing expense, insurance, travel, cars, like whatever it is. Like you can go with the wildest dreams of what you want to do after retirement, map it out, put it into an expense list, and create a budget. And that number is going to be your monthly budget. That's how much you need on a monthly basis after your retirement. Don't worry about inflation right now. All you really want to do is figure out your monthly expense for when you retire based on today's dollar terms. And of course, you annualize that number. So you multiply that by 12 and then you multiply it by 30 because again, in this hypothetical example, we're doing 65 as a retirement age, 95 life expectancy. So 30 years worth of capital is what you need. So that right there is going to be the number without inflation adjusted is how much you're going to need in order to retire comfortably. That's your end goal. That's the number that you need to try to hit between now and your retirement. Okay? So that's your end goal. That's how much you need in the future. The second step is going to be how much do you currently have? Okay? So assessing your present, assessing your current situation. So now that you know how much you need to figure out how much you have, and all we're trying to do is bridge the gap in between, okay? So to give you a very simple example, let's just say that you have a goal of having $1 million by the time you retire, okay, by 65. And let's just say that currently you have $100,000. So you need to basically 10x in the next 35 years, okay? And those 35 years of investing, saving, and generating returns, that's the return that you need to achieve. That's the bridge that you need to cross, right? Between how much you need, which is $1 million, how much you have, which is $100,000, and that gap is what you need to fill in that time period of 35 years. So that's how you break these things down. And let me just go over a very simple Excel spreadsheet so that that's going to help you a little bit understand a little bit better. So all we're going to do is we're going to once again plug in some of these numbers. So funds needed, we're going to put in 1 million. Funds currently, I'm going to put in 100,000, and time we're going to put 35 years between 30 and 65, so between now and your retirement age. Now all you have to do is figure out the rate of return needed in order to achieve that number. But I'm also going to put down a PMT, which is like how much you're planning on saving each year, and then finally the rate. So all we're going to do is rate over here. We're going to do number of years 35. Payment is going to be this block over here. Present value is going to be 100,000 and future value is going to be 1 million. We're going to do 0 and boom, right here. So oftentimes people think that, oh, I need to achieve these crazy returns. I need to do like 20% a year in order for me to hit my financial goal. A lot of the times it's actually not that crazy. It is not that wild of a dream to expect to save or invest up to $1 million, right? Oftentimes that number or that rate of return that you need to achieve is not going to be anything crazy. It's very achievable. So in this example, it is 6.8%. So a little bit under 7% is what you would need to achieve if you're currently working with $100,000, hoping to get to $1 million in the next 35 years, okay? Now look what happens if I shorten that timeline. If I do 20 years, now you have to achieve 12.2%. But then of course, if you start saving and investing more, let's just say that you invest $1,000 extra each month. So that's $12,000 per year. If I plug that number in, now you'll notice that it is going to be 7.9% again. It's going to be a little bit under 8% over 20 years. But if it's over 35 years, then it's going to be less than 3% in order for you to get to your $1 million target. And that $1 million, of course, that number is coming straight from your monthly budget. So it's very, very important. This is probably one of the most important aspects of your financial plan is understanding how much you need, understanding how much it is that you're going to need in order to retire comfortably. And when I say comfortably, I'm not asking you to make cuts in your budget, but no, think about the wildest dreams, think about what kind of lifestyle you really want and how much funds are you going to need. So if that number is, let's say 10 million, right? And you're currently working with $100,000, even then over 35 years, right? If you invest, let's say $1,000 per month and that's 12,000 a year, you only need to hit a little bit under 12%, right? So the rate of return of those $100,000 plus the 12,000 that you're investing each year only needs to compound at just under 12% in order to get to over $10 million. So that's the beauty of understanding and breaking things down, and it becomes a lot easier. Because look what happens, right? So here's why this is so important. Because a person who understands that they only need to achieve a 12% rate of return is going to operate in a different way than a person who doesn't even know what kind of rate of return they need, right? So if you're completely going to 2024, if any year you go into not knowing how much it is that you need to hit in order to get to your goal, you're going to take on enormous amount of risk. You're going to be like, okay, I want to make as much as possible. Let me just go ahead and, generate 20% or try to generate 25% or 30%. And what happens with higher rate of return? You're taking on more risk. But if an investor or person knows that I only need to do 12%, you're going to operate in a very defensive manner. You're going to be like, okay, what is it that's going to give me a good solid 12% with some reasonable risk that I don't have to go crazy on the risk curve, right? I'm not taking on super aggressive risk, something that I can only make 12% with, and I'm achieving my goal, and that's good. Some years you may do more, some years you may do less, but the idea is to kind of understand what that rate of return is. That's why I've mentioned that not everyone has to beat the market. Not everyone needs to beat the market. If you do the math and you understand how much it is that you need and how much it is that you have right now and in how much time, that bridge is going to be the rate of return. That's what dictates how much you need to make every single year. So not everyone needs to beat the market. So hopefully this was a little bit of a helpful video. So start with your current age, decide your retirement age, decide life expectancy, and then work backwards, figure out how much it is that you need, right? That is a very important number. That's going to come straight off of your budget. So your monthly expenses, figure that out. And then of course, how much you have, and then try to bridge that gap in that time period with respect to the rate of return that you need to achieve every single year so that you can get to your goal. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be sort of sharing some templates and some Excel spreadsheets in our Discord for all the members to kind of plug and play and create their financial plan for 2024 and beyond. So again, links are going to be down below if you want to join. Of course, take advantage of all of that. And as always, happy investing, 16% annual discount that's available until the end of this month. So always happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.